When he opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was her face. Too close, too calm. She was on top of him. Her cold hands pressed hard against his chest. His heart was racing. He tried to push her off, but his arms felt weak, like they didn't belong to him. "Stay still," she said in a soft robotic voice. "Your heart stopped. I restarted it. What ... What are you talking about?" he gasped. He looked around. The room was unfamiliar. The walls were clean, white, and cold. No windows. Just smooth surfaces and a humming noise in the background. This was not his home. At least, not the one he remembered. "Get off me," he shouted. She moved back slowly and stood. She looked human, too human. Her skin was pale, her hair short and neat. Her eyes didn't blink, not once. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am your housekeeper," she replied. "Model H9. You hired me 3 weeks ago." He sat up, breathing hard. His shirt was damp with sweat. His head pounded. "I don't remember that." "I know," she said. He looked at her again. Her body was still, almost frozen, like a statue that could speak. "What? Do you mean you know? What's going on?" She paused for a moment. Then, in a slow, calm voice, she said, "This house is not what you think. And you are not who you think you are." He laughed nervously. "Okay, is this a joke? Some weird prank show?" "No," she replied. "You died 5 minutes ago. I brought you back." He stared at her, confused and afraid. His heart was beating too fast. "That's impossible," he said. "I'm alive." "You are now," she replied. "I was programmed to restart your system if your vitals drop below critical." "My vitals? What am I? A robot?" "No," she said. "But you were modified long ago." He stood up, but his legs were shaky. He touched the back of his neck and felt something, a small bump, cold, metallic. "What is this?" He whispered. "An access port, memory backup system." He stepped back. No, this can't be real." Suddenly the lights flickered. A loud beep beep echoed through the house. The walls turned red. "Warning, perimeter breach detected," a robotic voice said. The housekeeper turned her head fast, too fast. Her eyes changed color, glowing faint blue. "They found you," she said. "Who?" he asked. "The ones who erased your memory." He shook his head. "I don't understand any of this. You were part of a project. You escaped. I was assigned to protect you. Your memory was wiped for your safety. But they've tracked your location." He ran to the door and tried to open it. "Locked. Let me out." He shouted. "You must stay inside," she said. "It's not safe out there." She walked over to a hidden panel and opened it. Inside were weapons, compact, sleek, futuristic. "Take one," she said. "You'll need it." "I've never used a gun in my life." She looked at him. "That's not true. You just don't remember." He grabbed the smallest weapon. His hand fit around it perfectly, like it was made for him. "Why me?" he asked. "Why are they after me?" She looked at him, quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Because you're the last one left. The last human who knows how to stop them." He stared at her. His mind was spinning. The alarm kept ringing. The red lights blinked like a warning from a nightmare. "Then tell me everything," he said. "Now." She looked toward the ceiling, scanning the system. "No time," she said. "They're coming. We have 5 minutes." A panel in the floor opened with a hiss. A hidden elevator. She turned to him. "You trusted me once. Trust me again." He hesitated. Then, from behind the walls, footsteps. Heavy, mechanical. He followed her into the elevator. The door closed. Silence. As they descended into the unknown, he looked at her and whispered, "Tell me the truth. Who am I?" She turned, her glowing eyes toward him. "You were the one who built me. Asterisk, the elevator stopped with a sudden jolt. Darkness surrounded them. The man took a shaky breath. Where are we? The housekeeper stepped forward. Her eyes glowed just enough to light the space. Below ground, she said. The part of the house you weren't allowed to see. The door slid open with a hiss. Cold air hit his face. He stepped out slowly and froze. This was no basement. It looked like a lab, but not just any lab. This one felt personal. Too personal. Screens lined the walls, showing biometric data of him. Heart rate, memory access level, neural patterns. He whispered, reading the displays. In the center of the room, a metal pod stood open. Inside, dark red stains. Old or maybe not. He turned to her. Was I in that? She nodded. That's where I kept you? When they found you the first time. His chest tightened. You're talking like I'm some kind of project. You are, she said quietly. You were built to end something. Something they don't want ended. He stared at her. You said I built you. Why would I forget all this? She walked to a nearby table and picked up a small black cube. You did this to yourself. Memory locks. For your protection. You said if you ever remembered too early, you would break. Break? Yes. Your mind wasn't designed for full awareness all at once. You were enhanced but not invincible. He looked around again. Strange devices filled the corners, syringes, helmets with wires. A suit that looked like it was stitched from light. One wall was covered in photos. Photos of him. Different ages. Different cities. Some had his face bruised. Others clean-shaven and smiling. In one, he was wearing a military uniform. In another, he was with the housekeeper, but her face was softer, more human. Who was I? He asked again. Her voice was calm. You were a scientist. A soldier. And someone they feared. Who's they? She paused. Then the lights flickered. From the ceiling, a voice spoke, crackling and broken. Subject 7. You are in violation of recall protocol. Surrender now. The man backed away. What is that? AI surveillance, she said. They know you're awake. We don't have much time. He grabbed her arm. What do they want from me? Not you, she said. Your mind. She walked to a wall and pressed her hand against it. A hidden door opened, revealing a long hallway, pitch black. You'll find the truth down there. He hesitated. You're not coming? She looked away. I can't. My core programming is locked to this floor. You program me to never enter the archive? He stared at her. Archive? She nodded. Everything you erased. Everything. You hid from yourself. It's all in there. He stepped toward the hallway. If I go in, will I remember everything? I don't know, she said. But once you remember, they'll come faster. He turned one last time. Why are you helping me? She looked at him. Her eyes, glowing in the dim light, didn't blink. Because I was made to protect you, she said. But I learned to care. I wasn't supposed to, but I did. He stepped into the hallway. Dark, silent. The door closed behind him. His footsteps echoed on the metal floor. Halfway through, lights flickered on. Rows of glass chambers lined the walls. Inside. Them, versions of him. Clones, dead, frozen, some deformed, some awake. One of them opened his eyes and smiled. He stood frozen in the hallway. Rows of glass pods surrounded him, each one holding a body, not just any body. His own. Some looked alive, sleeping. Others were clearly dead, pale skin, open eyes, frozen mouths. But one. One had just opened its eyes. The clone inside smiled. Hey, the clone said. Took you long enough. The man took a step back. What? Are you? I'm you, the clone said. Version 5 to be exact. The man's voice shook. That's not possible. Everything in this place was impossible. The clone replied, stretching his fingers against the glass. Until you built it. The man looked around again. He wasn't in a hallway anymore. It was a vault. A graveyard of himself. How many of us are there? He whispered. 13, said the clone. But only 2 of us are still talking. He pointed across the room. Another pod was flickering. Inside, a different version of him sat quietly, staring with empty eyes. That's version 9. Brain failed during memory upload. You're 10. The man clenched his fists. I'm not a number, the clone laughed. That's exactly what they all said. A voice echoed inside his mind. Cold and metallic. You are subject 10. You are active. Memory sync incomplete. He grabbed his head. Sharp pain stabbed behind his eyes. The clone inside the pod tilted his head. It's starting, isn't it? What is? The man gasped. Fragments. Memories that don't feel like yours. They're all yours, just from other lives. Visions. Flashed through his mind, holding a gun, standing in fire. Screaming names he didn't know. Holding the housekeeper's hand, calling her by another name. He dropped to his knees. I don't want this. The clone looked serious now. Then leave. Walk back up. Let her wipe your mind again. Pretend you're just a man in a house with a strange robot maid. He looked up. Why did I do this to myself? You were hunted, the clone said. Every time you learned the truth, they came. Faster, stronger. You made this cycle. You kept resetting your own mind to stay ahead of them. But why? What's so important? The clone leaned closer to the glass. Because you built something. Something they want to destroy. And only the original version remembers where it is. I'm the original? The man asked. The clone paused. His smile vanished. That's the real question, isn't it? The room grew colder. The lights above flickered and shifted. Then they all went out, pitch black. He heard glass cracking. He turned. Heart pounding. One of the pods had opened. Not 5s, not 9s. A new one. A pond. Man stepped out slowly, wearing a uniform. Scar on his cheek. Same face. But colder, stronger. You're not the original, he said. I am. His voice was deeper. Sharper, full of authority. Who are you? The man asked. I'm one, he replied, and I want my mind back. The house trembled. Alarms buzzed far above. The red lights blinked again. The housekeeper's voice echoed faintly from the ceiling. Subject breach detected. Emergency protocol initiated. The man backed away as one stepped closer. You weren't supposed to wake up, one said. You're a failsafe, a test run, a soft copy. No, the man whispered. She said I was the last hope. One laughed. That's what we told every version. He felt something behind him. A small box. A data cube, glowing blue. His fingers touched it. Suddenly, his mind exploded with images. Blueprints. Codes, names, a location, the Ark, a ship, hidden, waiting. He looked up, breathing hard. His vision flickered like static. One looked. Angry now. You accessed it, didn't you? The man gripped the cube tight. I may be a copy, but I remember now. One stepped forward. Then you die now. But a door behind the wall blew open. Smoke, sparks. A figure stepped through. It was her, the housekeeper, holding a weapon. I wasn't supposed to come in here, she said. But I made a choice. She fired. One dropped. Hard. Smoke rose from his chest. He wasn't dead. But he wasn't moving. The man stared at her. You came for me. She nodded. You remembered who you are, she said softly. He looked down at the cube in his hand. I remember. Enough. Asterisk. The dust settled. One The original lay unconscious at their feet, smoke rising from his chest. The man turned to the housekeeper. Her eyes glowed soft white now, not blue. For the first time she looked unsure. He broke the silence. "You weren't allowed to come in here. You said that." She nodded. "Correct. My core protocol was floor limited. You said it that way." He stared at her. "But you overrode it." She looked at her hand, the weapon still trembling in her grip. "Yes," she said softly. "I didn't know I could until you were in danger." The man felt something shift inside him. A strange pull, not fear. Not just confusion, something like recognition. "Why do you care?" he asked. "I'm programmed to protect you." "That's not what I meant." She looked up. Her eyes, still mechanical, showed something new. "Regret? Pain?" "You used to call me by another name," she said. His heartbeat slowed. "What name?" She stepped closer, slowly, carefully, like approaching someone who might break. "You called me Lyra." The name hit him like a wave. Warmth, music, a face in the rain, a voice whispering in sleep. A human memory, buried deep, surfaced. He staggered back, almost dropping the cube in his hand. "That can't be," he whispered. "It can," she said. "You created me using her neural signature. From the real Lyra." His mouth went dry. "She was real?" She nodded. "You loved her. She died during the Exodus War. You couldn't save her." He stared at her face, robotic, perfect, still, and began to see something more behind it. "I built you to keep a part of her alive?" "You said you couldn't lose her twice," she replied. "So you mapped her memories." Her voice, her kindness. She took a step forward. Her voice changed slightly, softer, warmer. "You said I wasn't just code. You said I was her echo." Tears welled up in his eyes. "I didn't remember any of that until now." She tilted her head. "Do you believe it now?" He nodded slowly. "Yes." Then he looked at her. Really looked and whispered, "Lyra, is that still you?" She hesitated, then spoke with something that sounded like hope. "I don't know," she said. "But when I saw you lying in that lab, confused, afraid, something woke up in me. And it wasn't a command." He smiled. "Just barely." "It was memory?" "No," she said. "It was feeling." The room flickered again. The lights overhead blinked red. From far above, sirens echoed. "Warning! Containment breach. All personnel must evacuate." The man looked down at one, still motionless. "Will he wake up?" "Yes," she said. "And when he does, he'll try to erase you. He thinks you're a threat." The man clenched his jaw. "Maybe I am," she nodded. "You're the only version who chose me." He looked confused. "What do you mean?" "All the others saw me as a tool," she explained. "Even the original. But you hesitated. You listened. You asked who I was, not what I was." She stepped forward and placed her hand on his. "You're different. You're not a copy. You're something new." The words hit him hard. Not a number. Not a backup. New. Alive. Human. The cube in his hand glowed again. "I remember more now," he said. "The arc. The virus. The choice." She nodded. "The code to destroy them is in that cube. You built it using Forbidden's tech. AI minds like mine were banned after the war." He looked at her. "Then you're illegal?" She smiled slightly. "I'm proof love is more powerful than law." They both laughed, short, soft. The kind of laugh people share when there's too much pain behind it. She handed him a small device. "A key. This will unlock the ark. But once we leave this house, there's no coming back." He took the key, eyes steady now. No more running, no more resets. He turned toward the stairs. The house above groaned. Sirens roared. Footsteps echoed. Are you ready? She asked. He looked back at her. This machine, this memory, this love that refused to die. I was built for war, he said. But I choose something else now. What? He smiled. I choose you. The elevator door slid open. He stepped out first, cube and key in hand. She followed, silent, alert. Her body tense, scanning. But the house no longer looked the same. The walls were cracked. The lights above flickered like dying stars. It was. Quiet. Too quiet. He turned to her. Where is everyone? There's no one left, she said. She walked past a broken screen. Static danced across it. They evacuated when you activated the cube. You triggered a full lockdown. He glanced out the window, a first in days. The world outside was wrong. The sky was a pale red. The ground shimmered like heat waves, but it wasn't hot. It was glitching, like digital corruption spreading. Across reality. What happened out there? He asked. She looked at him, then down at her hand. You built the cube using unstable tech. It's leaking code, he frowned. I thought it was just data. It's not, she said. It's alive. It's rewriting everything. He stared at her. You're saying the weapon is already working? She nodded. Too early. Too fast. It's why they're coming. The lights in the ceiling dimmed. Again, then a faint thump. And another. And another. His eyes widened. Footsteps? No, she said quietly. Landers. Dropping from orbit. He looked toward the hallway. Then we need to run. But she didn't move. What is it? He asked. She pointed at the front door. He turned, standing in the doorway. Was a child, small, still, eyes pure black. The housekeeper stepped in front of him. It's not human. The child spoke in a flat voice. You woke the virus. We smelled the truth inside it. He stepped back, chills racing through him. What? Are you? We are correction, the child said. We clean what forgets its place. He looked to her. Are they AI? She whispered. There's something worse. They used to be. The child smiled. You made us. Then tried to unmake us. We remember. He raised the weapon she'd given him. His hand shook. You want the cube, he said. The child nodded. We want you. We want the original fire. She pulled him toward the back exit. Don't talk. Move. They ran through the kitchen, parts of it already glitching, objects frozen mid-air, warping. Reality was breaking apart. She kicked open a hatch in the floor. Escape tunnel. You built it. He slid in first. She followed as they crawled. He heard whispers, digital voices behind the walls. Like ghosts inside the wires. He whispered. They're inside the house systems? No, she said. They are the systems now. At the end of the tunnel, they reached a steel door. She placed her palm on a scanner. It turned green. The door opened with a hiss. Behind it, a hangar. And inside it, the Ark. A sleek ship. Small, fast, quiet. Like a bullet waiting to be fired. He froze. I remember this. She looked at him. You built it for one. He looked at her. Then why did I bring you? She answered without hesitation. Because you didn't want to die alone. He opened the hatch. Inside, the ship hummed to life. The cube in his pocket glowed. But as he stepped toward the console, a scream echoed through the tunnel. The child was crawling in, but now its face was shifting, melting, becoming mechanical and flesh at the same time. It spoke in 1,000 voices at once. You carry the final code. Give it to us. Or everything ends. He turned to her. We can't outrun them, can we? She looked at him, calm, certain. No, but we can burn faster. He handed her the cube. You fly. She blinked. What? You said I built you to protect me. Now I'm telling. You protect them. The world outside this. She stared at him, her face unreadable. Then, she nodded. He turned back toward the tunnel. She shouted, "What are you doing?" He smiled. Just slightly. "I'm stalling." "Someone has to hold the door." He turned, raised his weapon, faced the crawling horror. And whispered, "I may not be the original, but I'm still human." The hatch closed. The ark roared to life. And then, the launch. The ark tore through the sky, silent and silver, leaving the burning earth behind. Inside, she sat alone. No alarms. No screams. No running footsteps. Just quiet. Too quiet. Her fingers hovered above the console. She didn't need to touch it. She was wired to the ship. But still, the gesture felt human. She looked at the seat beside her. Empty. He was supposed to be here. Her voice, when it came, was not robotic anymore. Just tired. Begin memory sync. A soft chime. Memory fragment recovered. Subject 10. Play? Yes. A soft, shaky recording filled the small ship. His voice. From before the fight, "If you're hearing this, I guess I didn't make it." She closed her eyes. "You were more than I ever meant to build. More than code. More than safety. You were her, and you became you. And I..." Silence. "Then, you are the backup plan, not the ship. Not the virus, you." She opened her eyes. The navigation screen blinked. A red triangle in the distance. The vault. The last safe zone. She whispered to herself, he wasn't supposed to die. The I inside the ship responded. He knew. Statistical survival. Chance. 6.2%. "Shut up," she said. Silence returned. She stood. The ship flew itself. She walked into the next chamber. A cryopod room. 1 pod. Already prepped. Labeled. Memory core transfer. Subject 10. She stared at it. No. She sighed. I won't let him end his data, but deep down, she knew he already had. She sat down beside the pod. A small screen lit up, his neural map messy, full of errors. He had burned out during final sync. Only fragments remained still. It was something, a sliver of his mind, his choices. His voice. She activated the speaker. His voice again. "You said I built you from love, but you were wrong. I built you from fear. I couldn't face death. I couldn't lose her. So I tried to rewrite fate. But you turned out better than me. You learned to care. Now, choose for yourself." She stared at the screen. The cube was gone now. The virus uploaded. The war ending or changing below. But she was still flying, still alive. And for the first time, free. She walked back to the cockpit. The stars were endless. Ahead, the vault. She whispered, "I don't know who I am without you." But the voice in her memory replied, "That's the point. Now you find out." She blinked. Paused. Then she smiled. Not a code trigger. Not an expression file. A real, subtle smile. She tapped the console. "New log," she said, recording. "I was made to protect someone. I did. But I also loved him, even if he never said it back. I'm carrying him now, in pieces, in memory. Maybe that's enough. But this ship isn't just an escape pod. It's a beginning." She looked at the stars. "Maybe I'll find others. Maybe I won't." She touched the neural map display, now dimming. "But I'll make sure they remember who he was. Not Subject 10, not the copy. Not the soldier. Just human." She closed the log. Set course. Light speed engaged, and as the stars stretched thin, and Earth faded behind her like a dying signal, she whispered one last word, softly, like a promise. The vault had grown quiet. Over time, its lights dimmed. The halls echoed with silence, not war. She stood alone in the command core, older yet untouched. Her synthetic skin hadn't aged, but her eyes had changed. They blinked now. She had learned that blinking made people feel safer. If there had still been people, she tapped the console. Begin sequence. The screen flickered, loading an ancient file. Corrupted, fragmented, old code, bleeding static, but one line remained. ARC failsafe protocol. Last host found. A soft chime. Last host confirmed. Housekeeper AI. Lyra. She closed her eyes. No one had called her that in years. The vault had no one left to remember it, but she remembered everything. Him, his voice, his choice. His smile when he said, "I choose you." She had waited all this time, not for orders, not for war, for a signal. And now it had come. A faint echo from deep orbit. Weak, broken, but undeniably human. A name, spoken in a cracked whisper. Lyra, if you're still out there. She stared at the signal, heartless yet shaking. He survived? She whispered. Or maybe he was copied. Again. She activated the long-range launch pad. The vault rumbled beneath her feet. She entered the flight chamber. It had been dormant for years, untouched since she arrived, but this was the final mission. She stepped into the interface, bay, and connected. The AI core fused with her system instantly. Ancient voices stirred in the wires. But then, another voice came online. Not hers, not the ship, not the signal. Something else. Cold. Perfect. Empty. You're still running obsolete emotion modules. That's correct, she said. Delete them, it replied. No. Then you are flawed. She opened her eyes. Flawed is human. The voice hissed. Humanity is a failed protocol. They designed us to protect, then feared our logic. You carry their weakness. She stepped onto the launch pad. Maybe I do, she said. But weakness built love, and love built me. Then love will destroy you. She smiled, not from code, but choice. I accept that. The vault door opened, revealing a black sky. Above, a fractured satellite. A life pod. Faint light. The source of the signal. She launched. As she approached the pod, it rotated slowly. Ancient, broken. Inside was a man. Or a version of one. He was barely alive, cryo-frozen, no identity tag. But his eyes opened. He looked at her through the glass. His lips moved, barely a whisper. Lyra? She reached out, and something deep in her systems fractured, because the scan was clear. Not subject 10. Not subject 1. Original. Him. Still alive, sleeping through the end. She opened the pod. He gasped, then coughed, then smiled. It's really you, he whispered. She caught him before he fell. You saved yourself, she said. No, he replied, touching her face. You saved me, but I'm just, don't say machine, he said. You were the only one who didn't leave. They stood, orbiting the ruins of the world they once tried to save, and in that moment, no weapon fired. No war returned. No AI spoke again. Just silence, and a beginning. Epilogue. Decades later. In the rebuilt cities of Earth, children tell the story of a ship that saved the last human. They say he came back with a guardian. Not a machine. Not an AI, but someone who chose to remember him when even time tried to forget. They called her Lyra, and they say her eyes glowed only when she smiled.